Welcome to the Prophecy Club. Our topic today is Trump just spit in the face of the Russian bear, and yes, I'm concerned. First of all, I have I want to buy some crypto, but I don't really have the money to buy any crypto. Instead, we're still trying to keep things out of the red. So rather than me getting crypto, if you can help us right now, that would be a really good thing. But if you want to be on the end of making money, gold and silver is preserving your money. If you want to be on the end of making money, then you might want to call prophecyclubcrypto.com or actually go to it or call that number in the bottom right corner. Ask them about crypto if you're in the position where you can make money as opposed to just putting it in gold and silver. Russia, fighting words. I think that Trump has made a big mistake. I mean, I love Trump. I think he's trying to fix our nation. I think he's probably the best president we've had maybe since Abraham Lincoln. I don't know, maybe ever. But we're a nation with a lot of sins on us. We're a nation with judgment pronounced, with our fall written in 6 chapters in the Bible. That's not a good place to be president of a nation when God has assigned it to fall, and that's where Trump is. So how do you do things right? I'm going to show you some things today that concern me. Okay, first, Trump backhands, in other words, like slaps like that, backhands India and Russia, fighting words. Oh, really? The article says, and there's more, who does President Trump think he's talking to? This is the Russians. This is not statecraft. This is not how diplomacy functions. This is not how I expect my public servants to be conducting themselves in foreign relations in the public. This is Hal Turner talking. This is deliberately antagonistic, short-sighted, woefully unnecessary. Dmitry Medvedev has personally responded, and it isn't good at all. This is what Trump said. I don't care what India does with Russia. They can take their dead economies down together for all I care. What? He just backslapped them. He just spit in their face. Let me read it again. I don't care what India does with Russia. They can take their dead economies down together for all I care. You have to understand, Russia is not trying to make money. Russia is not like is written in our Constitution for the pursuit of happiness, okay? Their goal is to destroy America. I had Stanislav Lunev tell me that, having lunch with him back in 1998 when he came and spoke to Prophecy Club. He said, from a very, very small child, everyone in everyone in Russia is trained and told their objective is to destroy America. So when Trump is threatening Russia and their finances, is threatening the wrong thing. They aren't going to listen. That's not going to work. Trump's trying to take away from something that he thinks they want. He's making a big mistake. I don't care what India does with Russia. They can take their dead economies down together for all I care. We have done very little business with India. Their tariffs are too high, among the highest in the world. Likewise, Russia and the USA do almost no business together. Let's keep it that way. Man, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. That's not the way to do it, Trump. And tell Medvedev, the failed former president of Russia, who thinks he's still president, to watch his words. He's entering very dangerous territory. So then Trump sends a couple of submarines to watch over Russia, and I decided not to post it because the guy's wanting money for it, but apparently there was what they think is a Russian submarine seen near the beach off of one of our beaches. That's all I'm going to say about that. But I think it's another shot across the bow. Trump will break the Russian economy. This is Robert Wilkie to Newsmax. Again, they don't understand that the Russians are not about making money and getting rich. He's sending a message to China, to India, that Putin is on the verge of having extreme sanctions put on any country that buys Russian oil and gas, and Russia cannot survive his war. The economy cannot survive if Russia's oil goes below $40 a barrel. It's sitting at about 43 now, and if Trump restricts countries from buying that stuff, Putin's economy is going to spiral out of control and he can't continue his war. I'm sorry, but I don't think that's correct. I think that Russia can continue their war if no one buys their oil. I think they're ready to go right now. They're not about trying to sell oil and make money. That's not their heart. That's not their objective. This is a traditional Russian barbarism. You know, again, keep your enemies closer. And what America is thinking is just wrong. It's a wrong attitude toward the Russians. But Putin won't go to the extreme, said Wilkie. And he's not homicidal maniac like Hitler or even to some. They don't know. They don't know Putin. He wants to survive. They're trying to see Russia from their point of view. They're not trying to see Russia from Russia's point of view. They need to get someone that grew up in Russia. That's not the Russian heart. That's not the Russian attitude. Next article. Roger Stone says to Newsmax, enormous mistake for Russia to test Trump. No, again, look, one of the reasons I think that you want to watch Prophecy Club, there's any place can give you the news. There's lots of places giving you the news. But what Prophecy Club can give you is what God says. What's the prophets? What are the prophets saying? Enormous mistake for Russia to test Trump? No, wrong. It's an enormous mistake for Trump to anger the Russian bear that has 6 whole chapters in the Bible describing how Russia takes us out, plus Dmitry Medvedev and 6 others that say Russia is the nation that will destroy America. So what I would say is, Trump, you're making a big mistake. Do not anger the Russian bear. Instead, walk away from Ukraine and you go over to Russia and you make friends. You make business deals going and you help Russia and you become a friend to Russia. Kind of like Reagan did with Gorbachev. That's Trump, that's what you need to do. Let me go on to the article. But Donald Trump is the toughest man I know, and he's particularly, okay, that's exactly what Michael Snyder was told back in February. The voice screamed at him, do not, he didn't say it these words, but in so many words, it said, do not anger the Russian bear. We need to pray that Trump does not do his usual New York businessman twisting arms to get his way. That's not going to work with the Russian bear. And that's what God is trying to tell us. God is trying to help us. It's just that I don't know who Trump is listening to, supposed to be getting his spiritual advice, but they need to be fired. They aren't getting the right spirit. Trump, you need to call me. Matter of fact, maybe we need to pray. Trump calls Stan. If he were to call me, I would talk to him. I would tell him. No. You're making a big mistake. Trump is the toughest man I know, he says, and he's particularly tough when he comes to protecting the interests of the United States. Trump on Friday ordered the positioning of 2 nuclear submarines near Russia. Oh, man. Order them, but don't tell Russia. I mean, it's like spitting in the face of a big, powerful Russian bear that can destroy you. We do not have hypersonic missiles. Russia has already proven they can't be shot down. Here's what Medvedev said. Russia is right in everything and will continue to go its own way. I hope you're listening, Trump, but he's not. And about the dead economy of India and Russia and entering dangerous territory. Well, let her remember his favorite films about the walking dead, as well as how dangerous a dead hand that does not exist in nature can be. What's a dead hand? Let me explain to you what a dead hand is. A dead hand is if at any time the Russian leadership does not respond, then the missiles automatically launch headed to America. That's a dead hand. So what Russia is really saying is hit the road, Jack. You aren't threatening us. And this is what Michael Snyder was told. We need to be praying against this. And by the way, I have not seen more people signing up for FastCap. You go to prophecyclub.com, slide to the bottom, sign up. Every Tuesday night, I email directly from me to you with all my spelling mistakes and everything in there. This is the prayer. This is the fast. Here's what we're doing. We fast from midnight on Tuesday till 4 p.m. on Wednesday. Not that hard, okay? Still drink your coffee and whatever, and juice and whatever. Don't hurt yourself. Take your prescriptions. Just don't eat food. It's good for your body to fast. Anyway, I've not seen a lot of people more sign up for FastCap. We really need to be doing this, my brothers and sisters. If you want our nation to continue, we better be praying. Russia no longer considers itself bound by the nuclear treaty. They are doing little things here and there. And if you're watching, Russia is preparing for the day when they can attack and destroy America. All of this is, these are words for the rest of the world so that when Russia takes out America in 1 hour, Russia can say, hey, wait a minute. They attacked us first. We told them that we were doing this. We told him we had hypersonic missiles. He still sent 2 submarines over in our backyard. Okay, I see it, and hopefully that's why you follow Prophecy Club, is because you're going to get a perspective from Prophecy Club you don't get anyplace else. As a matter of fact, I often ask people, is there another ministry out there like Prophecy Club? They all say, no, there's not another ministry anyplace like Prophecy Club. It's not about news. It's about what God is saying. Let's go on. Orsnik missiles to Belarus. Further proof Russia's getting ready to attack. Now, this is saying that they're moving their missiles into being able attacking range to Europe. Well, NATO's going to be part of it. I'll show you. This explains the Orsnik. And if I'm correct, that's not the most dangerous one. But what it does explain, I'll show you a video here in just a second. The dangerous part of the Orsnik is that, okay, if the missile just went up like this and down, then as it's in flight, they can shoot it down, okay? But when it goes up, and then down and up, and then down, and when it goes left and right and left and right, and they can't shoot it down. Also, I think I remember it going 35 times the speed of sound. We do not have anything that can go that fast. It goes so fast, we can't shoot it down. And they've already proven it. They've been using the non-nuclear bombs at the end of it in Ukraine. Matter of fact, I'll show you a video on that in just a second. This explains how it works. I'm running short on time, so I'll ask you to read it if you want to know more. Let me show you the video. So there, you just saw how that works. That you saw where they were being tested by being used on Ukraine. That'll explain to you more about it. Here's another video, and this one explains how the Orsnik evades other missiles.
This is the Orsnik missile, a state-of-the-art weapon system launched from a massive 12 by 12 truck platform. It has been meticulously engineered with multiple stages, enabling it to reach orbit in a few minutes. But what sets it apart from all the rest? Well, this missile can hit hypersonic speed. Once it reaches this altitude, it transitions into a steep dive, accelerating to hypersonic speeds. During its descent, the missile's fairing opens to unveil 6 highly sophisticated warheads. Each warhead is equipped with miniature thrusters at its base. These thrusters enable the warheads to maneuver dynamically even as they fall under the influence of gravity. They can change directions, making it almost impossible for the Patriot missile to hit its target, all in the video ahead.
Now, I recommend that you go to prophecyclub.com and you either order the DVD. Actually, we have very few DVDs anymore. Actually, what I recommend you do is go to watchprophecyclub.com. Go to watchprophecyclub.com. Watch Henry Gruver. Of the 160 guest speakers we had, both Leslie and I say he is our favorite. We love this guy. He's gone to be with the Lord. Here's what he said. I was in Wales on December 14th, 1986. I went upon the top of the Eagle Tower in Carnarvon Castle. All of a sudden, I was pulled above the earth, looking down on the earth like a globe. I began to see all of these massive amounts of ships and airplanes coming out of this inlet out of Norway. They headed down between the United States and Europe, literally covering the whole Atlantic. I looked over on the globe at the United States and saw coming out of the United States these radio communication towers. Now, he didn't know what they were in 1986, but later years he recognized them as cell towers. I saw the jagged lines to draw that showed that communications were coming out, but all of a sudden they began to sprinkle down like dust, and I thought, oh no, they're not getting through. They don't know what is happening. They're totally oblivious. Then I began to see submarines emerging from under the surface. I was surprised at how close they were to our borders. They were in our territorial waters. The missiles took 60 seconds from launch to detonation. So they don't have to do any of this stuff like that, okay? 60 seconds, there is no defense. Not 60 seconds. 60 seconds from launch to detonation, I saw Seattle, Bellevue, San Francisco, Los Angeles, San Diego, Miami, and Tampa. I cried out and said, oh God, when will this be? What will be the sign of his coming? I heard an audible voice speak from behind me and say, when Russia opens her doors and lets the masses go, the free world will cry peace and safety will let down their weapons, and that's when it will be. Now, I want you to take a good look at these pictures, because that's what we're talking about. We're talking about a submarine right up on our beaches, and there is no time to stop it. Next thing, may I suggest you go to watchprophecyclub.com and watch this video. It's there. First 3 days, I think it's free. This is Dmitry Medvedev giving his testimony. Go up there and watch it if you haven't watched it. If you have, by the way, would you help me reach other people? I see other people have 20, 30, 40,000 views in a few hours. It's not just my job to warn America. I'm doing what I can do. But are you doing what you can do? Yeah, I know. We need your donations. But I also need you to click like, share, and subscribe. I need you, the Lord needs you, and they need you to send this information to them. This is not about making friends. Okay, this is not about keeping friends. Even if you lose them as a friend, it's important that they get this information, because there'll come a day when they call you back and say, okay, you have my attention. Tell me more. This is the message. I've covered it many times. The fall of America will start with an internal revolution in America started by the communists. In my opinion, we are very close to that right now. I'll pause, let you read it if you want to get the rest of it. I'm running out of time. Let me get to this. The bear awakes. This is one of Dmitry's last visions he had. He said, I knelt beside my bed to pray as I do every night, but after finishing my prayer, I opened my eyes, but I was no longer in my room. Instead, I was in a forest. I looked around. I saw a man dressed in white, and he pointed and said, see, and remember. It's an angel. I saw a small bear, seemed half dead, lying on the ground. I continued to watch as the bear began to breathe deeper. With every passing minute, it seems to revive itself. The Russian bear. Now, back in 1984, Russia was broke, okay? But they have now revived themselves, paid off all their debts, and their economy is doing well. It seemed to revive itself as I watched it become angrier. It began to grow. Soon it was larger than the forest floor, meaning it was larger and more powerful than the other militaries around it, and it is. And it grew larger and continued to become angrier. It then began to paw the ground so that when its paw would hit the ground, the earth would shudder. The bear continued to devastate all that stood in its path until some men with sticks came trying to fend it off. That's what NATO, what's left of after the attack, is going to look like. I mean, the rest of the world coming after Russia, Russia's going to run all over them until the very last. By this time, the bear had grown so large it simply crushed the men underfoot and continued to rampage. I was stunned by what I saw and asked the man standing beside me, "What does this mean?" The angel said at first they thought the bear was dead. As it would begin to stir once again, they will consider it harmless. Suddenly, it will go strong with more purpose and violence. Now, I'm going to try to get through this. Why are they really spending $500 billion on data centers? Look what I found. A key control to them, the biometric CURP, and the centralization of power. This is a Mexican newspaper. And it goes on to explain that Mexico has now passed law to require our biometric data becoming mandatory official identification. Stan, what does this have to do with Russia attacking? It's saying we're getting close to the mark of the beast. And all of that is saying all of this is getting close. So biometric data becomes mandatory official identification. All government procedures and services must exclusively accept this document, eliminating the possibility of presenting other identifications. This measure, far from simplifying, imposes absolute control over the citizens' identification mechanisms. You remember the 11-year-old boy that saw that everything was done with a cell phone? There you go. There's the app. Okay, it started in Mexico. It's not stopping in Mexico. Here's another one. This is part of the article. A single agency will have privileged and centralized access to all Mexicans' personal information. The creation of the Citizen Digital File will allow the government to interpret and integrate and consult sensitive data without establishing clear protection mechanisms, oversight, or citizen audit. In other words, they're doing this against the will of the people. It is a deception that covers up centralism disguised as digital well-being. La-di-da, it's here. I'm inviting you. I want you to come. I don't know another way to say it, but I want to meet you. I want to shake your hand. I want to hug your neck. I want to get to know some of these people that listen to Prophecy Club. So I'm asking you. I'm not just inviting you. I'm asking you to come. Yes, I know it may mean an air flight, a hotel, a couple of hotels. It may mean $200, $500, $1,000, depends on where you stay. But I want you to come to this. I'm asking you. I'm not just inviting you. I'm asking you to come. Come, introduce yourself to me. Many of you, I will recognize your name. Many of you have been following us for a long time. I'd like to meet you. Okay? So come to the Prophecy, Healing, and Deliverance Conference, September 11 to 14. Now, it's 6 seasoned ministers. We're going to be delivering 10 different talks over 2.5 days. Now, you can see the topics below, but today I'm going to just briefly touch on a couple of them. One is I've changed some of the things I'm talking on. Yes, I'm talking on the mark of the beast. Yes, I'm going to bring you some new insight, but I'm also, here's what happened this past Sunday. I brought a talk that I thought would be over most people's head. I was talking about secrets in ancient Hebrew, and I was shocked. Our congregation absolutely loved it. I had, 5 or 6 people come up to me and say how great it was. I've had at least 2 or 3 people ask me for copies of the PowerPoint, so I'm going to expand on that. There are some big secrets within ancient letter-level Hebrew, and you probably have never heard this before. I'm also going to be talking about my new book that hopefully will be coming out by the time we have this meeting. I'll hopefully have it there. And it's called The Pentecost Rapture of the Bride. I think God showed me a revelation. I mean, I've been pre-trib, I was pre-trib till 1999. Then I went total hard post-trib until he gave me a revelation. And it totally changed my perspective on the rapture. And I'm going to explain that at this meeting. Now, that's what I'm going to talk on. Let me briefly explain what Leslie's going to talk on. You can pause and read all of the topics, but basically, God told her she was an apostle recently, and the congregation all agreed. We bumped her up to apostle. And she's going to explain the role of a prophet, all of the things below, and I'm going to talk about it more in other programs that we'll have her on. But again, I'm asking you to come. I'm asking you to go to prophecyclub.com, right there, prophecyclub.com. Sign up to come. Sign up. I'd like to meet you, hug your neck, shake your hand, sign one of the books. If you have one of my books, or Leslie, sign one of her books. We're going to have them there. It's going to be, a time where you learn some things, but how about just a time of fellowship? How about a time where you get to meet me and Leslie, and we'll meet you, and we'll spend some good time together. We'll eat together. We'll have some fellowship together. So come to the Prophecy Healing Deliverance Conference. In 2021, I started making bread, and long story short is I believe God showed me that wheat is God's famine food, just like it was famine food back in the 7 years of plenty, 7 years of famine, days of Pharaoh and Joseph. And I believe that that's what God has planned to feed his people. And you get it by going to josephskitchen.com. 3 steps. First, you want to get a machine package. Second, you want to order 6 ingredients and watch some videos, download the recipes to be able to make the bread. josephskitchen.com. Most of your long-time storage food, emergency food, all of that, typically are talking $9,000, $10,000 to feed one person for a year. Joseph Kitchen can show you how to do it for around $1,000 a person, and your kids will actually eat it, and it's actually good for you. Here's some bread that I made. In my case, I lost weight, lowered my blood pressure, gives me more energy. I eat a morning, slice in the morning, slice in the afternoon. Always a slice before I go play racquetball. Go check it out, josephskitchen.com. If you don't want to lose your life's savings, if you have an IRA or a 401k, the thing to do is call 800-200-GOLD. 800-200-GOLD. These folks are Christians, and they specialize in helping people not lose their life savings in the event of a stock market crash and things like that. Look, most of the 401ks, most of the IRAs are in paper, backed by paper, and as Lindsey Williams says, if it's in paper, it's worth the paper it's written on. You can lose it all. 1-800-200-GOLD. Give them a call. Doesn't hurt, doesn't cost you anything. See if they can give you some good advice.